So then let me ask you, given that, I mean, a lot of this discourse on jobless growth, etc., automation is much newer. NREGA, of course, is much older.
Right.
Having been launched over 10 years ago now, I guess, in at least counting the earliest districts. Yeah. So, what has been the overall experience? Do you think, you were there from the early days?
Right.
So, did it pan out the way you thought it was going to be? What are some of the big takeaways from?
Right. So, I think I mean there are obviously many disappointments of the past 12 years in terms of the way NREGA has been implemented. Some of them were maybe possible to anticipate at the beginning. For instance, the idea of NREGA was that it would be a demand-driven program, that people would know that they're entitled to 100 days of work in a year, and knowing that they will then go out and demand it, and that they would then, that would trigger the whole process. So it was clear even at the beginning that this was not going to be an easy task, creating awareness and creating accountability at those levels of government where there is so much antagonism towards the poor. But so there have been the expected disappointments, but there have also been unexpected sort of attacks, and I mean we are very concerned at the moment, as you know, about what Aadhaar has done to the implementation of this program. It's led to over-centralization, unnecessary and hurtful centralization of the program, and reduced transparency and reduced accountability in the name of actually enhancing both those things. So that's the unhappy side, so to speak, of the picture. But I think that in spite of everything else, there is quite a lot of good stuff that's happened through NREGA. One of the things I think that's really important to acknowledge is, of course, the scale of work is employment provided is very high. The participation of women in these programs and what it means for women to get work locally at almost the minimum wage. I think for me that was quite striking, because I remember in the early years when it was implemented, it was Uttar Pradesh had a Samajwadi Party government, and then within 1 or 2 years it was replaced with Mayawati's BSP. And basically it was only when Mayawati came to power that it was actually initiated in the state. UP is always amongst the latecomers to these programs, but SP was not interested at all, and at least when Mayawati came, she made orders that there should be at least one work site in every panchayat. It was too little, but still in those villages, the Dalit women, they knew, they said 1 day's work and 100 rupees wages, and that meant a lot to them, because earlier there was just no opportunities for women, and that too to get it in their village at the minimum wage when they had been used to getting 20-30 rupees a day. So for women it's been a great thing. And then also in terms of asset creation, I mean I think there's not enough evidence out there. There haven't been enough studies of that part of the program. But the ones that have been done are showing all kinds of useful interventions, irrigation works or roads. I've seen mangrove plantations in West Bengal to prevent inundation, when the water rises in this Sundarbans area. So there has been quite a lot of creative thinking about how to use this opportunity. There's also a lot of sad stories about the bad assets. So I think that's one part which is kind of a mixed bag, but not quite as dismal as people think it is.